Joining us this morning is Joe Garofoli, senior political writer for the San Francisco Chronicle and host of the It's All Political podcast.
It's all political.
It's all political.
It's always all political.
I mean, this week has been incredible. With Mattis left, you would think that some of the hardliners on the right, some Republicans, would not be happy about this.
And some are. Some are speaking out, especially about the Syria thing, because there's a danger there. If we pull out our troops, as the president's proposing, there could be a vacuum there that other forces that ISIS can bloom again. And remember, this is what Trump criticized Obama about. He says, you were a great recruiter for ISIS, and this could lead to the same thing.
In his farewell letter, Mattis suggested to the president that he find someone to fill that role who has closer ties, ideally, with the president. This threat of the president surrounding himself with an echo chamber is very distressing to Democrats.
It's very distressing to some Republicans, too, because if you're not getting information, if there's not someone there to speak truth to power, then the president is left to his own devices, and we see these sort of capricious decisions here. Let's pull out of Afghanistan, let's pull out of Syria, and that leads to chaos.
And Mattis had the experience that the president does not, military experience, leadership experience, so some people thought maybe he might be a nice counter.
Right, and it was typically referred to as the adult in the room. But the concern here is that Trump made these moves without consulting our allies. I mean, it's how can the United States be trusted around the world if they make these decisions sort of whimsically, as it's seen around the world?
I heard the former Secretary of State John Kerry last night on the news talking about it. He says Marines don't quit. This guy is a general. He's a Marine. Yeah. And right after the news came out about Syria and possibly Afghanistan, the letter of resignation. So clearly, he's done.
Oh, yeah, no, and it's saying something that his resignation letter did not say anything about Trump, did not say it's been a pleasure to serve you and such. And it's telling that he would up and go like this because, as you say, he's a career guy. He's a very thoughtful guy. He was at Stanford for many years. He is a scholar, and he's a career military officer.
I want to ask you about the president's decision to shut down the government or to include border funding. It seems as if he was ready to make a compromise to keep the government going until February, and then you had some TV commentators come on, and you had some radio commentators come on, criticize the president for doing it, and then he changed his mind. He really does listen to the media, the right-wing media, doesn't he?
He listens to, one sliver of the media, the conservative media. And again, it's the same theme. It's the president acting on his own. He decided to do that. The congressional leaders thought they had a deal. They said, okay, we have a deal. We're going to continue extending the government funding until February. So he comes out and he says this, but it's totally on his own. Yeah. And he double crosses. So again, just as our international allies can't trust him, our domestic, his supposedly partners in government can't trust him. Even the Republicans are like, wait, we had a deal here. You can't do this to us. And that's the concern.
You think we'll have a shutdown tonight?
It looks like it because McConnell, just got out of the meeting. He says, I'm not backing down on, I'm not going to go with the nuclear option and allow and break the filibuster thing. So it looks like it very likely may.
It's kind of crazy, but I mean, re-election's coming up in what?
Well,
22 months? Does this have something to do with him saying, I promised a wall, and by the time we get to that campaign,
as we said earlier, it's all political. And in this case, he is playing to his base.
Right.
What was his signature promise? We will build the wall, and Mexico will pay for it. This is his last best chance to get that done. Because when the Democratic controlled the House, there's no way they're going to vote for that. So this is his chance. This is his last stand on this.
Real quick, because we are running out of time, but what if the stock market, continues on its way? And he has been bragging about the stock market.
He's been hanging his hat on that.
Yeah, and now it's obviously not doing well. It's the economy, stupid, is what they say. Do you think that's going to have?
Well, the economy is going to appeals to the wealthier people. Only half of the people in the country own stock. But his base is, mostly a large chunk of it is uneducated folks, high school educated folks. So they're not necessarily that same demographic. But if this wall thing is what appeals to them. The people love him because he keeps his word. And this is him keeping his word. Right. If he doesn't, then they lose faith in him.
Keeping you busy, that's for sure.
Yes.
On your day
100% employment, full employment for all of us here.
All right, Joe.
Joe, thank you for joining us.